In a rare Tuesday night game, the Tennessee Titans beat the Buffalo Bills 42-16. Now, honestly, two things are true. Number one, the Bills made way too many mistakes to win that football game. And number two, the Titans were impressive. Now, before we get into all that, we'll do that in a minute. I want to first start by saying that, and I guess really praising the Titans quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. I've never said this. I've never gone out of my way, and I apologize for this. Ryan Tannehill and Adam Gase as a head coach did not work out in Miami. Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback, Adam Gase, the coach. In Miami, it didn't work out. And when those two broke up, Adam Gase went to New York with the Jets. Ryan Tannehill got traded for like a 7th-round pick to Tennessee to be a backup behind Marcus Mariota. I blamed Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback. I even said this literally. I said that when the Jets hired Adam Gase, it was a good hire. As crazy as it is, I said that because, quote, I believe it said something like, Adam Gase never had a good quarterback. Oh, my God. How? It's funny looking back at that. It's clear now Adam Gase was the problem. I was so horribly wrong about that. And Ryan Tannehill was not at fault even a little bit. So Adam Gase goes to the Jets. He ruins the Jets. He ruins Sam Darnold. He gets a star running back, Le'Veon Bell, can't work with him. And again, destroys the career of a promising young quarterback, Sam Darnold. Adam Gase is a problem. He's not a good coach. And meanwhile, Ryan Tannehill goes to Tennessee, wins the starting job, takes him to the playoffs, and shows how good he is, and I love it. So I want to be very, very clear. I was wrong about this breakup between Ryan Tannehill and Adam Gase. It was not Ryan Tannehill's fault at all. I'm very happy for him. He showed how good he is in Tennessee. And we saw an example of that on Tuesday night. He's a smart, scrappy quarterback. And I would even call the guy clutch, where we saw this in the playoff run last year. Ryan Tannehill makes so many key plays in important moments. And that's why he's such a good quarterback. It's not just the accuracy, the timing, the ability to run around, the decision-making. It's really, he's got this clutch factor that nobody ever wants to talk about because Ryan Tannehill isn't a big, flashy quarterback. Now, on Tuesday night, he was 21 for 28 passing, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 4 times for 42 yards and another touchdown. He's so clean as a quarterback. He's a clean football player, meaning that there's no crazy mistakes. There's no bad, horrible throws. There's no terrible turnovers. He can move around. He can extend plays. He's accurate. And I am so happy to see Ryan Tannehill succeed in Tennessee. It's really, really cool. I like the guy a lot. And he's doing very, very well. He deserves a lot of credit. Now, here is some context about Tuesday as far as the Tennessee Titans go. Because of COVID, they had not practiced basically for 2 weeks. So and any time in the last 2 weeks, the Tennessee Titans really had not gotten together and had significant practice time leading up to that game on Tuesday. And then to consider they came out and executed incredibly well. It's so impressive to me. I go, wow, oh my gosh. Tennessee did a great, great job given the circumstance. And by the way, A.J. Brown, their young receiver, a second-year receiver, continues to really impress me. He had multiple strong catches with defenders on his back. He had 7 catches for 82 yards and another touchdown. And I got to say, I really was impressed with Tennessee. They came out, they executed well, especially given what was going on. And I also really like their dark blue uniforms. Is that navy, technically? It's all dark blue, almost black, that dark blue color. I really like their uniforms. I thought everything about Tennessee was appealing and good and impressive on Tuesday. Now, the yardage stats are a little bit skewed for Tennessee because if they seem low, if you look at Tennessee, you go, wow, Ryan Tannehill seems like he doesn't have a lot of yards, and A.J. Brown, not a lot of yards, and, the running back, Derrick Henry, not a lot of yards. If you think it seems low, it's because it is, but there's a reason for that. And it has to do with the Buffalo Bills' really poor execution. So the Titans had 4 drives where they started deep in the Buffalo Bills territory on Tuesday. The Titans had a drive start on the 18-yard line going in, on the 16-yard line going in, on the 30-yard line going in after a really good punt return, and on the 12-yard line going in. They started 3 drives in the red zone because of Bills' turnovers. They had 2 interceptions and a fumble. And for all the praise I've been giving the Tennessee Titans, their quarterback was awesome, their young receiver's great, they execute very, very well. I was really impressed on the way they did, without having any practice. For all that being said, you have to acknowledge that the Buffalo Bills were just not very good on Tuesday night. Poor tackling, turnovers. I thought, one of Josh Allen's interceptions were not his fault, where it kind of bounced off his receiver's hands, went up in the air, taken for a big run. But the second interception was very weird. I watched I went to the coach's film to see the all-22 version of the interception. And my hope was to kind of figure out what was Josh Allen's intent. And I honestly couldn't tell you where he's throwing the ball. I don't know what. Either he really horribly underthrew a fade ball trying to throw like a hole shot, or he badly overthrew an out route, kind of threw the ball to no man's land. I don't understand what he was doing. He didn't look confident in the throw either when he threw it. So I don't know what Josh Allen was doing on the second interception. Now, the Buffalo Bills are 4-1. They played in 5 games this year. One of those 5 games, their first loss of the year, they just didn't show up. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they didn't execute well, had turnovers, they tackled poorly. Everything was bad for Buffalo on Tuesday. I want to give credit to Tennessee, but you also got to point out their opponent did nothing to warrant winning. And so I guess they converted well on third down. Like they had a lot of long sustained drives where 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15. It felt like Josh Allen kept throwing the ball for good gains on third down. Like that's maybe the only highlight I can possibly talk about for the Buffalo Bills in this game. It was a bad, ugly game. Josh Allen looked a bit off pretty much the entire game, where even on completions, his ball location was just a bit behind, or a bit, maybe slowing receivers down, or just a bit off the entire game. And there's no other thing to say than to say that the Buffalo Bills were simply really, really bad on Tuesday night.